Texting. We are back, America. We are back. The highly questionable Nigel Miliaccio, the shameless one in the hizzy, my brother from adjacent, my best friend in the world, Pete Miliaccio, is back. Back from a parade of pimps and whores.
I'm back.
Yep. On a Freestyle Friday. Gorgeous day today. We stayed in the 70s, partly cloudy, partly sunny. When did partly cloudy become partly sunny, by the way?
I don't know.
Or was it partly sunny became partly cloudy?
Well, it's kind of partly weird. It was hot in Boston when I left today coming up here. Now, I knew it would be warm here when I landed, but I didn't expect it to be as warm as it still is from Boston. For October 4th, it's pretty warm.
Well, it was in the mid to, but the thing is, it was cloudy. The sun wasn't beating.
Sunny in Boston.
Yeah, that's why. It was 70.
It's like 70s in Boston.
Yeah, it was like 77, but you really didn't feel it because there was no sun. It wasn't. It would come out every now and then, but it was never. You never saw blue skies. So, anyway, back to IDD. For those who know, I don't disagree. Segment 2, NFL football. First look. We'll also touch on some college football. We're going to start with the NFL because Super Cowboy fan number 1 is back in the hizzy. State of the Dallas Cowboys. They did. Did they win last week? They won.
Yeah.
They're 2-2 now. So they've kind of gotten off the mat a little bit here. But they are ruining the day they didn't go after Derrick Henry. I can tell you that right now. And that defense still can be run on. So, look, they have enough talent to still contend, but I don't know if adding a piece would help. We were talking off air about Devontae Adams. You know the story by now. He's requested a trade. They listed 4 potential teams. Dallas was not one of them, surprisingly. And I was wondering why that is, given what him and a tandem of him and CeeDee Lamb might look like. And if you're going to do one thing that's easy, it's add some firepower if you can do it. And I think that Dak wouldn't have a problem seeing him on the other side. Nothing against Cooks, but he ain't him. It's a question. But I wanted to first peek. First 4 games with the Cowboys. What do you like? What don't you like?
Something I haven't liked or not liked since '95. The coach is terrible. Bottom line, there's no getting around it. You can say Dallas Cowboys have talent on paper all year. I've been saying this for 20-something years. They've always had talent. Mm-hmm. They have no trouble getting talent.
They draft well.
They do draft well, and guys want to play there because it's the Cowboys. They're still America's team popularity-wise. Mm-hmm. So you're still going to get a draw of players. But Jerry Jones, the man needs to die. He does. The man needs to die. I shouldn't say that wrong way. He needs to retire. He needs to sell the damn team.
The reason he says die is because what he's talking about it will never happen.
So I need him to die.
He needs to die.
Yeah, basically.
If he thought he would sell,
yes, but he's not going to sell.
You did bring 3 more. Thank you. We'll put a statue up. Thank you. Go right now.
You know what this jackass just did the other day? This jackass owner. He lands his helicopter on the fucking practice field, then walks out in the middle to yell at the coach. That looks real good on the 53-man roster. 80-something-year-old senile old man gets out of his helicopter to yell at people.
Why wasn't this national news?
It's been all over the news. They were talking about it. They were making fun of Jerry.
He landed the helicopter on the 50-yard line?
No, but it was on the field, though. It's still, dude, it's a practice field. And a fucking helicopter, a Huey shows up and just fucking lands? I mean, Jesus Christ.
Wow. That is the definition of donkey right there.
And the thing I don't get, this is what makes it even worse. The Dallas Cowboys draft even the right way. They keep their offensive and defensive lines for the most part pretty good. They do. They have for years. When was the last time you heard Dallas didn't have a good offensive line?
It's been a while.
It's been years, right?
Yeah, but decades, I would say.
Yeah, decades.
But no, the coaching is definitely one problem. But Jerry Jones to me has always been the problem.
It's terrible. It's a joke.
It's not just he thinks because he spends the money, because he does, but it's not just you spending the money; it's the pressure you put on them.
Well, answer me this: you and me aren't owners of a football team. You know what I'm saying? So we can play this hypothetical. If you're the owner of a team, you spend your hard-earned money. It's billions. It's billions to buy a team. Should you, as the owner of the team, have a say in how it's built or not? You're the one paying for it.
I didn't say don't have a say. I said don't be the story.
No, I'm asking.
Jerry's always in front of a camera. Most good owners aren't. You see them once in a blue moon. Usually it's on the trophy stand when they're getting into the Super Bowl or into the championship. But other than that, you don't see them much. Yeah, but you see them in the draft room. They're probably there for the draft. That's normal. But Jerry Jones is the Dallas Cowboys.
It's Jerry World. They didn't
It's
call the
Jerry
stadium
World.
Jerry
They
World.
got Jerry World. I'm saying it's like
it's his own ego. He feeds his own ego.
I'll bet him and Donald Trump are best friends. It's
they're like the same person.
They're the same person.
They're clones.
They just love themselves. It's like you love yourself too. These guys would never commit suicide. They love themselves too much. I mean, and the only Rick Pitino is not far behind. He's one of these clowns. But it's like, what the fuck? I mean, and by the way,
look at this way.
That kind of pressure. That no other player in the league has to play under that.
Look at this way. Let's talk about like football.
I would argue.
Let's take Jerry out of it for a second, okay? Just for a second. Dallas Cowboys offensive line this year, it's pretty good. Mm-hmm. It is. They still got Zach Martin. They added rookies. They drafted well. They got a pretty good offensive line. Mm-hmm. The receiving core, without even Devontae Adams, I'm getting Devontae Adams.
They're good.
They're better than good. They have probably one of the top 4 receivers in CeeDee Lamb. He might be top 2, depending on where you sit. Doesn't matter. He's definitely top 4. Mm-hmm. And then you have on the other side, you got, what's his name?
Brandon Cooks, who gets 1,000 yards.
Brandon Cooks, 1,000-yard receiver. And then you have, what's his name? Ferguson, a tight end who's good. The only thing they don't have good right now is a tailback. Yeah. They don't have a great tailback right now. Yeah. But in this league, in today's day and age, do you even really need a great tailback?
No, but it wouldn't hurt.
I mean, it wouldn't hurt, but I mean, there are teams that win it have 3-headed monsters at tailback.
No, I know. I'm just saying that, for me, the day he fired Jimmy Johnson because he couldn't share that ended the Dallas Cowboys.
That goes beyond saying. I'm just talking about the team. Somehow right now,
they won that one with Spurs, but that was Jimmy's team.
When I look at when I see this team right now, this is where you know it's coaching because there's no consistency. They're not consistent. Like perfect example, last year they went 12-5. Weren't they in the beginning to middle of the year one of the best defenses in the league? They were picking the ball off every other play.
They at no
Micah
point,
Parsons was sacking everybody.
Except for 1 or 2 hiccups during the season, they looked like a contender most of the year.
They did, and their defense looked stellar until towards the end.
The San Fran game was 1, and it was like 2. It was like 1 or 2, but they looked like a contender for most of the year. I would agree with that.
Yeah, but then they show up in the playoffs and get fucking boat
Let's
raced.
just say they didn't show up in the playoffs.
Excuse me, the uniforms are there with no people in them.
Yeah, there was somebody in that
and
uniform.
they got beat by fucking...
I'm still not sure it was the
They beat by fucking Green Bay?
With a first-year starting quarterback?
Yeah, are you fucking kidding me? I mean, this is what we're dealing with here.
I mean, and this is the thing. I don't, the more I think about it, the less I blame Dak Prescott. Because honestly, the more I think about it, the more credit I should be giving him. I can't imagine a quarterback that could play under this kind of pressure.
Look at this way.
I can't think of one.
He's
done this for 9 years.
Everybody on the TV I always hear talking about Dak in a negative way, even though he was the leading touchdown thrower in the league last year.
You go work for Jerry Jones.
I know. Ask Patrick Mahomes if he'd like to switch with Dak.
Yeah,
see if he'd do that.
No way.
I guarantee you Dak would do it in a heartbeat.
Yeah,
He'll take playing under Andy Reid, no problem.
In a heartbeat. Yeah, so no, the pressure, this is what no one talks about. It's not just that Jerry Jones is in front of a camera. He puts this pressure on them that no other owner puts on their players.
No, he expects to win it every year.
It doesn't mean you don't expect results, but he's not out there flapping his gums and everything. I mean, it's like we walk around eggshells, I imagine, in that facility.
Well, also, too,
especially after a loss. Oh, my God.
This is what I don't get. Forgive me. I used to do this to you as a child when we were both children. And the only time you ever fell for is when you were a child. Mm-hmm. Is when I couldn't beat you at something. I just dare you to do something I knew you weren't good at. Mm-hmm. And you'd be pissed at me, and despite me, you tried to do that. Mm-hmm. In fact, that's actually the only time I ever beat you in basketball, because you did something you shouldn't have done. That being said, Jerry Jones has been told how many times he needs a real coach over the past 20-something years? How many times?
I want to know how many times he's been told to step back and
let
just
the
sign
team
them. Can you just sign the checks?
Players and
just
checks.
Sign the checks.
That's it.
That's all you have to do. Don't be
he's never been told. First of all, he's never been told
he's
that.
the only
because
owner.
He's the boss.
He's on talk shows, plural, every week.
Dude, he has his own talk.
He has his own. This is ridiculous. No other owner in the league is like this. And it's like, and so basically, you're hearing him on the mic from Tuesday and Thursday all through the week. It's not like you see him at the end of a game and he comes in on Sunday in the locker room and gives you the game ball, that crap. No, you see him every fucking day.
Oh, it's terrible.
And if you've ever worked under someone like this as an employee, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's like you could do everything right and think you must have done something wrong just because when they walk by, they psych you out. You're just like, and you don't dare look like you're not busy.
No, right? And look at it this way.
It's like this is what this does. Let's think about this on a football standpoint. You have a multi-billionaire owner with one of the model franchises in all sports, one of the staples, right? And he is in front of a camera every day talking about you.
This is
every day.
This is the biggest problem I have with the Dallas Cowboys. When I think to myself, it doesn't matter if it's football, basketball, baseball, it doesn't matter what sport it is. When you're building a franchise, let's play franchise just for a second. You and I are both franchise owners. Everyone's done it in the video games. We know it's fake in the video games, but still. I get a team. Say I get the Dallas Cowboys, just for argument's sake. I get handed the Dallas Cowboys and the money that comes with that, the spending power that comes with that. They already have the offensive line. I'm not going to go away from that. I'm going to continue to draft for the offensive line. And the defensive line. Their tackles, they have to be able to stop the run. The positions, it's ironic, the positions other than quarterback, of course, the positions that pay the least are the most important. Left tackle does not pay what a wide receiver makes, but it's more important. You need a solid left tackle to protect your quarterback. Your left tackle is more important than your wide receiver, I bet. You may not think that, but if you have a stud left tackle, your quarterback is safe.
Yeah.
And I've seen the great quarterbacks, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, name another 100 of them, operate with different receivers year after year after year. They still throw good. There are a lot of guys that can catch it. There aren't a lot of guys that can throw. And you said to yourself about the Patriots, or about any team for that matter, when they start to fall apart, the first thing that happens, they let go of the offensive line. That's where the pieces start to fall apart because they're cheap. And they'll think they can just replace it. It's like, I'm sorry, just because you didn't pay him a lot doesn't mean he was replaceable.
Offensive linemen are invaluable.
They are. And
because if you don't have, look at the Jets last year.
The only reason the Dallas Cowboys have been competitive, when I say competitive, I mean like in the playoff hunt for the very least. Dallas hasn't had a losing record really. They've been 7-7, I think. Now, they had a tank record.
I don't
really.
think they've been below 500 in quite a while.
No, they haven't.
I don't remember the last time
because they've drafted
500.
And it's because you know why?
They might have had a 9-7 year in there.
But
they were never.
But they've always had a good offensive line.
Yeah.
And because of that, and they've always had at least a decent quarterback. Yeah. Tony Romo wasn't great. Actually, some people might say he's great, but he's at least
made multiple Pro Bowls. He's good.
Yeah,
he made multiple Pro Bowls.
Yeah, he's decent.
You make 2 or more Pro Bowls, you're a good quarterback.
Yeah, Dak Prescott is a good quarterback. He is.
Yeah, he's good enough.
I mean,
it's not him. I thought it was him for a while. It's not him. It's the damn owner because he's never not in front of a camera talking about you.
And by the way,
you know what that is? It's one thing for a boss to talk to another peer behind closed doors about you. You don't know what's being said. They know everything he's saying about them all day, every day. Do you imagine trying to work in an environment like
Actually, you know the only coach who was able to handle it? Besides Jimmy Johnson?
Who? Parcells.
Bill Parcells. Yeah. Got to the playoffs with Quincy fucking Carter as his quarterback. Quincy Carter.
Parcells could coach, though. He's an all-time.
He's great, but he also can handle the ego. He coached in New York. Yeah. If you can handle coaching in New York, you can handle coaching with Jerry Jones.
Wouldn't flinch in front of Jerry. He was just older. If he was younger, he wouldn't have just. He was older. This was about more.
Well, you and me joke around about it, but would I love it if Jerry Jones ever, whatever, like I don't know, lightning struck him or something, and he decided to hire Bill Parcells? I'd be the happiest camper in the world.
Oh, Bill Parcells.
Because the talent's already there.
Bill Parcells would have won back-to-back Super Bowls with this team.
He probably would have. Because he knows how to coach.
Yeah, they have enough I'll be the first to say. You don't have to be those talent teams. You just have to have enough. You have enough talent, he'll get you over.
And he's already got the talent there. Enough for Bill Belichick to win with. That's for sure. He doesn't have a crap quarterback. He's got a good one. If
Belichick doesn't touch the roster and just coaches,
they'll win.
They'll win the Super Bowl.
Actually, and the thing is, if he coaches the defense, that defense has got talent.
Do you know what he could do with Micah Parsons?
You know what he could do with that secondary? They have Jerron Bland isn't even back
Lawrence Taylor. Think all the linebackers.
And he's got Micah.
Do you know what he could do? Do you know what Bill Belichick could do with a toy like Micah Parsons?
That's like the Energizer Bunny on steroids.
I'm telling you, I saw him do this too many times. But Belichick would also have to swallow his ego. Which I don't think he can.
But Belichick, I think, at least at this point in the game, he's just trying to catch Shula.
Of course,
the easiest route to do that is with an already pre-made team.
If Belichick wanted to stick it to Kraft,
go to Dallas is the way to do it.
Because Jerry Jones is the reason that Kraft is not in the Hall of Fame yet.
How is Jerry Jones the reason?
He has the most influence over the league, and him and Kraft are not on good terms right now. And he's
they ever been on good terms?
Yeah, they were in the beginning. But Jerry got jealous of all those Super Bowls, and now he's fucking all those winning. And then he just started trying to exude his, and Kraft wouldn't back
even
down.
Kraft did that at first, but at least Kraft learned from it when he hired Belichick.
Kraft was never like this.
No, what I'm saying is he meddled. That's why he lost Parcells.
He wasn't in front of a camera, though.
I wasn't comparing him to Jerry.
Yeah.
Jerry's crazy.
But he learned from it.
That's why I just said
this is where he's a better man. He's like, I'll swallow my ego. Jerry would never do that.
I said he learned from it because when he took Terry Glenn, he lost Bill Parcells.
Is the other reason why Jerry hates him. Because Jerry can't stand that he has the ability to do that, and it makes he can't stand it.
But even look at this way, even Kraft screwed up because he let Bill Parcells, Bill Belichick.
He gave him too much power.
He gave him all too much power and it burned him. But at the same time,
and he listened to him at the wrong time.
Everyone's freaking out about it, dude. I mean, guys, let's be realistic too. You got 6 fucking Super Bowls.
It could have been.
You
more.
and I grew up in New England in the '80s. It was terrible when they hadn't won shit.
Could have been more.
Dude, 6 is a lot.
I know. But
there's 8 teams right now that don't have any. 10?
I'm saying they could have won 8. Brady goes to Tampa on a new offense, and if he had just got him 2 receivers, they'd have won. They were 12-4 with a 5th ranked defensive league with just Julian Edelman on his last legs. If he had gotten him just 2 shining toys, they'd have won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I know.
He's done it with less, and they had a top 5 defense. And instead, Bill Belichick goes, you know what, we need to blow this up. That's the one thing I would say that Jerry Jones wouldn't do. If he knew they were that close, he wouldn't have blown that up. No, that's the one thing Jerry would have done. He'd spent. He would never walk Tom Brady out of town.
He'd let Troy play with 11 fucking concussions.
He would have never let Tom Brady walk out there.
He wouldn't let Troy leave.
Yeah.
Troy had 11 concussions.
I can guarantee
the doctors are like, Troy, you need to retire or you're going to die.
The one thing about Jerry Jones is if Belichick tried to tell him, Jerry Jones would have fired Belichick before he would have fired Brady. He's like, no, that guy puts asses in the stands. You don't. And he can still play. And then I got news for you. Jerry Jones would never have let Bill Belichick do what he did the last 2-3 years of Brady.
So my prediction, in short, on the Cowboys, they're probably going to end up right around 11-6, 12-5 again because they will. Because they play well in the regular season.
They have talent.
And they do have talent.
They have too much talent not to win.
That's what I'm saying. They will get the wins in the regular season because Mike McCarthy is a shade better than Jason Garrett.
Although there is one thing standing in their way that wasn't before, and this could be a problem.
Standing in the way of what? Just getting into the playoffs?
The Commanders.
Yeah, but they'll still get in.
They're 3-1. That kid is the real deal.
But that team isn't ready yet.
Well, they look pretty damn ready to me.
I mean, they're not going to do any damage yet. Maybe in year 2.
I'm just saying, they're the team you better. If Dallas forget injuries. If they are healthy and don't get in, that will be the team that stops them.
Oh, it wouldn't surprise me if they are.
I'm just telling you that right
now.
Look
this way, if
they will be the one that keeps them out.
Part of me, and I'm just
if it happens, I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm saying that will be the team.
Part of me, as much as I hate to admit it, I want to see Dallas lose. I want to see them implode because they're not going to win with this team. With
he might
coach.
sell it. He might sell it.
He might sell it, or he might die. That's what we need to have happen. He needs to die. He needs to just go. Get away from my football.
Or else he has to die.
He has to die. Because if he was gone right now, if he wasn't there, they'd have a real coach in there. They'd have a Kyle Shanahan in there. Somebody like that.
They would have better,
They would have somebody in there, and they'd be winning. Because God knows they got the money in Dallas for football. Christ, their high school teams have the money for football.
He needs to die.
He does.
Or, like I said, if they lose enough, maybe he sells it.
No, he won't do that because someone will buy it and win, and he'll lose his mind. He won't do that.
He'll sell it for $11 billion.
What's he going to do? Take it with him? He's already one step in the nursing home. He's 88 years old, whatever the hell he is.
Buy the nursing home.
Yeah, probably. I'm sure he already has a nursing home.
Jerry's World.
Jerry's World.
Jerry's New World.
He probably plays Candyland every morning. Fucking Jerry.
He won't die.
He just won't.
Pricks live forever.
No, he hangs out with Keith Richards.
Talk about a guy who should have taken a dirt nap a long time ago. Keith
Richards is a goddamn zombie.
Think about Keith Richards and think about Richard Simmons, who's dead, who was a
Richard Simmons,
who's a trainer,
died
before Keith Richards did.
Keith Richards has OD'd like 11 times.
Keith Richards has been pronounced dead on a table at least twice.
I think he's been pronounced dead at 2 of his concerts. That's who Jerry's hanging out with.
That son of a bitch is still breathing.
Oh, he ain't dying. That guy's...
And Richard Simmons is dead. It's terrible.
It is.
I'm laughing at it. It's terrible. It's just... So if Keith Richards is still walking among us, then Jerry Jones ain't going nowhere.
No. So my short version is Dallas is probably... I'm saying they're probably going to lose the division this year to Philly. The reason I say it because Philly had Barkley. I think that's enough. Dallas doesn't have a running game this year. Philly's got it. And he's good.
Saquon Barkley. If that offense is healthy, they're going to...
And Philly does have a good offensive line.
Yeah, they're going to be a problem.
So they're going to be tough, and I think they'll overtake. I think they'll beat Dallas this year for the division. Like Dallas beat them out last year.
Yeah.
I think they'll beat Dallas out this year to win the division. Mm-hmm. Dallas will probably get in as a wild card, is my guess.
They should.
If I had to predict the team out of... As of right now, out of the NFC, it's still probably going to be the Niners who I'd take, even though they're injured, because those guys are all coming back, it looks like. Except, is McCaffrey out the year?
I don't think he's coming back, dude.
All right, now
he went to Europe.
All right, no, that's a big thing.
This is a big deal. What's going on with him? If they don't have him,
if he's not back, that changes my opinion then, because I'm still leaning with San Fran as the perennial favorite because they're just talented, they're loaded. And now they have, I know Deebo Samuel's back this week. I have him in fantasy.
Deebo should have been paid. That was on a Belichick fuck up. He could have drafted Deebo. What a fucking donkey. Anyway.
So I'm either thinking San Fran or possibly Detroit.
I think Detroit.
Detroit looks good. They do.
I love that.
You know who else looks good?
I love that.
And the
Minnesota.
Minnesota looks tough.
Thank you, Mr. Darnold, for proving my point that a quarterback is only as good as his environment.
He is. Sam Darnold was
he won the first one. Look at Geno Smith up in Seattle.
Yep. Look at Baker Mayfield down in Tampa.
I'm telling you right now, a quarterback is only as good as what's around. I don't care who it is.
Yeah, Sam Darnold's firing bullets up there, and he's throwing to Justin Jefferson.
He looks like it's ridiculous.
Yeah. Minnesota's going to be a tough out.
They're going to be a problem.
So
they got Aaron Jones, the running back for the Packers.
No, they're going to be tough.
Oh my God!
So I'm thinking the problem is they're all in the same division. That's a tough division. Detroit, Minnesota.
That could be the division that gets
Detroit, Minnesota, and Green Bay. Green Bay's good. Green Bay's going to be tough too. Yeah. I mean, so who's the weak team in that division this year? The Bears. The Bears are the weak team.
The Bears
and they have Caleb Williams.
They're 2-2.
And they're 2-2. I mean, so that might be this year.
That might be the
top to bottom, the toughest division.
That might be the best division of football.
It could be. And I think out of the AFC, it's definitely going to be the Kansas City Chiefs.
I swear to God.
I have no doubt in my mind.
This has got to be some of the dumbest coaching
it is.
In a conference that I've ever seen in my fucking life.
And it's
embarrassing.
It's embarrassing. And look at
how are you? It's just.
They already have the best quarterback in the league. And right now, the best coach in the league.
Do you realize?
And to top it off, he's coaching against boobs.
Pete, Patrick Mahomes has as many interceptions as touchdown passes. Yeah, and they're undefeated.
I know.
Because this is how bad the coach, to his point, you know how bad the coach is? Patrick Mahomes has as many picks. He has 6 picks. And they are undefeated?
Yeah, but the coach is
this is the boobs. He's you and I, Stone, could do a better job than half these.
I've seen half these coaches. I don't know what the hell they're doing.
Oh, my God. I can't explain it. I've never seen anything like it. It's like, wow. Wow. He's not even playing well. And by the way, they lose their number 1 receiver for the year. He just went down. He's out. They'll probably win Sunday again.
The thing I don't understand about the way the NFL and the NBA especially. I'm gonna bring this up now because it's my show this time because I'm never here.
It's the shameless show.
The NBA and the NFL.
The shameless one.
They want you to buy their product so much that they will give up winning for you to buy it. What I mean by that is, NBA, I'll do first. You have a Shaquille O'Neal on your team. Physically, most dominant center, whatever in the league. The NBA right now would try to turn him into a three-point shooter.
Yeah.
Even though there has never been anybody in this league that can stop him underneath the basket. No. He just turns and dunks, and he's an unstoppable force.
Not before he got fat. When he got too big, he ate himself up. When he was in his prime.
And now they're saying, and they're just saying this, I'm not saying it's true, but they're saying the league is supposedly the most athletic it's ever been. So if let's just say that's true, just for argument's sake. If that's true, why do we not have any dominant big men? Why is there nobody with footwork anymore underneath? Of course there is. They're just not using it anymore because it's not pretty. It's not sexy. But guess what? You can win doing that.
You want pretty? Go watch Akeem Olajuwon in the post. You'll see pretty.
True.
That's pretty.
But the reason I brought it up, you don't have to be pretty to win. The Detroit Pistons played great defense in the 89, 90s. They were great on offense too, but they were a defensive team. They were tough to watch, other than Isaiah Thomas, very pretty basketball player. The rest of them, and Joe Dumars had a sweet jumper. But that was a physical, you had to like defense if you liked that team. Yeah, that wasn't a fun, that isn't like watching the Golden State Warriors shoot rainbows all day.
They would show up and scare all the teams in this
league. And do you remember the Philly team that was like that with Rick Mahorn? They were all bruisers?
If I could teleport that 89 Pistons team into this era, every team in this league would wet themselves.
Or know what would happen? All those guys for the Pistons in 2024 would all get charged with assault and battery for real off the court. They'd take them to court today and charge them with assault and battery. They would, literally. Like when the Canadians called the police on the Bruins guy for some type of checking incident in the game. He tried to have him arrested by the city of Montreal for assault.
Something you do in a game.
Something that's part of the game.
It's a legal move.
Yeah.
To check somebody, yeah. Donkey.
So the reason
was
I
that
brought
Montreal? No, Vancouver.
It was in Montreal. It was Montreal.
What a bunch of.
That's what was so awesome about it. It was the Canadians
that ruined the Canadians forever. That right.
No, I actually think it made them bad. It made them more hateable. I love it personally.
But they're pussy.
It's such a. It's
you
such
think
a
of Montreal, you think of like 18 Stanley Cups, whatever they got. Now you think, aren't those the pussies who try to press charges for a check?
Oh no! But I think they did it just to be fucktards. They didn't do it to because they really thought charges were going to get brought. They just did it to be dicks. That's why they did it. Oh, okay. That's my point. Okay. They did it just to be Montreal because they are.
Aren't you being a dick either way?
They're French, dude. That's just how they are.
Dicks.
And to my point, when you go back to the NFL, RJ, answer me this question.
Yes.
We know what they do in college football because it's college football.
Sure.
The Nebraska Cornhuskers, college football, always been an option run team, right?
Yeah.
I know they don't play that way in the pros, but that's how they play in college because you can get away with it and it works.
And they're hated in it, yeah.
Yeah. So why would you change that if nobody could stop it?
The wishbone.
Exactly. So why would you change that if nobody can stop it? The reason I'm bringing it up, when I look at the NFL, and what the Patriots just did it. They just did it. Mm-hmm. Their number one pick, they took a quarterback. Because everyone says that's the most important position. You got to get a quarterback.
Dumbest thing ever.
It's a 53-man roster.
Yeah.
It's not one friggin' guy. They drafted a guy that they're not gonna play this year. He's not even gonna play.
Pick.
With the third pick in the draft.
And if he touches the field this year, now the centers out there, they need to be fired, all of them.
He won't even play.
He won't make it. You'll ruin this kid. You don't.
So you drafted. You're the worst team in the league, or one of the worst teams.
One of them.
And you drafted a guy you can't even use this year.
And by the way, you needed everything. There was a generational talent sitting out there at wide receiver, which you have to have a number one receiver in this league now to win. You can't win without one.
And by the way,
Tom Brady's gone. You can't win without one.
Even if you didn't take the generational talent, which you should have.
Marvin Harrison Jr. Look at what he's doing.
Even if you couldn't take the generational talent there, why in God's green earth would you not just either trade down or take the best goddamn left tackle you can get?
Well, probably because they can get the left tackle at 15 and not. At 3, it's got to be quarterback, receiver, defensive end,
or linebacker, or generational pass rusher,
shut
right?
Down corner, maybe.
Shut down corner, generational pass rusher.
It's a passing league now, so they think about these things.
I get that, but if you're gonna take a quarterback, he's got to be ready to play today.
Well, you have to have a team where he can start.
Yeah, or you have to have a veteran in front of him.
Let's be clear about something. I'm not even saying that Drake May can't start in this league because I think he could if he was in the right situation.
Probably got the right line of scrimmage.
Yeah, but he's just not in the right situation.
No, I know.
If you put Caleb Williams here, I would not start Caleb Williams behind this line.
But
I would not start Jaden Daniels behind this line.
What I'm getting back to, though, my point is, when you're picking a generational player, if you're starting to build a team first, everyone will say, yeah, you need to get a quarterback. I understand that. But you got to take the best player available.
A number one wideout is now just as valuable as a quarterback.
Yeah, but also, if there's
Jefferson, you think of these guys.
I don't know.
They change everything.
I haven't seen yet enough of the season. It's only in week 3 or 4. I don't know who the best player in the draft was yet. It's probably Marvin Harrison Jr.
Hill. These guys are game changers. They are just being out there.
But there's also a couple of offensive linemen that are like that too. Like, was it Trent Brown? Is that his name?
Well, he's the one. He's the best one now.
Yeah, but don't forget like Zach Martin.
How
and
has San Fran not won a Super Bowl?
Because
they've got more talent than you.
Because they got Brock Purdy. I don't even want to blame Brock Purdy, but that's the reason.
You think Brock Purdy is the reason they lost the Super Bowl?
I think it's because he's going against Patrick Mahomes in his quarterback league. Actually, I just think Patrick Mahomes is the best player in the league right now.
Well, you know what? 2 years ago, he got outplayed by Hurts. Hurts would have been the MVP of that Super Bowl had they won. He would have outplayed Mahomes in that Super Bowl.
He did.
He really did. Mahomes wasn't the best player that day. It was Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
And he outplayed him, like literally, like the way Brady outplayed him when the Bucs beat him. He outplayed him.
Yeah.
So, my thing is,
you really see Purdy doing that?
I think Purdy's good enough to win a championship with.
I don't
think he's the reason they lost it. I think the head coach is the reason they lost it. Because again, Andy Reid, these guys wet themselves. They overthink it.
They do. Well,
KC should not have even gotten the Super Bowl last year. Baltimore blew that, like you read about in the AFC Championship game. They should have beaten them by 2 touchdowns. But they did what they wanted them to do instead of just doing what they did, instead of dictating. That was embarrassing. Jim Harbaugh embarrassed himself that day.
My point exactly. When you build a team, you build it to what you want. Mm-hmm. For example, if I was building a team and I just wanted to win, I did not give a fuck about selling tickets or who the prettiest quarterback is I could get. I would draft the best players I could get. What I mean by that is I would have a loaded fucking offensive line. I would stack offensive linemen. I would also get a solid 2 running backs. And then I'd get the best quarterback I could that is available. When I say the best available, if he turns out to be generational talent, great. If not, he's at least a game manager. But I've already built an offensive line, so I can still at least be competitive.
You also have to build the defensive line.
Like I said, I'd start at the line of
the
scrimmages.
Trenches. The game is still. This is true. The game is still won in the trenches.
It is.
Everything that goes on outside and all that. It's what's going on at that line of scrimmage every time that determines the outcome.
And also,
still true to this day.
And I'll say it with the NBA too. These guys keep taking these project players. I need to draft a project player. When there's a kid who's just averaging 28, who's just better, but you don't like the way he fit, take the talent. What I like about what the Celtics did this year in the draft, they took the talent. No, we didn't take a player that's 17 who's 7'1", who's never played a game in his life from Nigeria. No, we took a 28-point-a-game scorer.
The Celtics took 2 seniors.
Yes, who can ball.
They're
now.
men. They're mentally men.
Yes,
they're not 18, 19.
No, they're men.
They're men.
And there's a difference between men and 19-years-olds.
Yeah, it's true. They're ready. These 2 are ready to step in and contribute now.
And also, you know as well as I do, because you've had to score in your life, and not just like I have, if you're averaging 24 to 25 points a game, that means you're probably hitting 30 and 35 a lot to average it, and you're only below it a few times.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it pretty much means. So these guys can fill it up.
Yeah.
They can both fill it up, and they're both mature enough to carry teams. So that tells me if they're mature enough to lead a team, they'll definitely be perfect for just popping in on a team that's already built.
Yeah, true. I agree. Switching gears real quick to the Patriots. That should be the segment right there, the Patriots. And we'll make predictions tomorrow night, of course, but they have a very winnable game Sunday, which could actually make their season still a season if they were to win it. Miami comes in, they've lost their quarterback for the season, maybe for his career. I don't know. We'll figure that out later. But and they're a rudderless ship without him. They still have 2 of that might be the second or third best, maybe the best tandem in the NFL, and Waddle and Tyreek Hill on the outside, and they couldn't do a damn thing.
I know 3 people that have benched Waddle already in their fantasy teams because they just can't throw.
I don't know what that was, but I mean, so the Patriots have a very winnable game on Sunday.
The Patriots can play D.
The Patriots can play D, but they gotta Alex Van Pelt has got to do something with this offense in terms of just. You know what you can and can't do. And if you're a good head coach or even a good offensive coordinator, you know what your players can and can't do. Stop setting them up to do things that they're not good at and start setting them up to do things that they are good at. That's the first thing.
Well, first off, then, in your opinion, if there is something, what would you try to work on first if you're the Patriots on offense?
The first 2 games of the season, they ran the ball 35 times in both games, plus.
Yeah, and they won one, lost one.
And it was overtime.
Yeah.
Why did they get away from that? That's their identity.
This is what I was just telling you about. When people they stopped doing what they're good at.
2 games, it was very effective, and then for whatever reason, they felt, well, the Jets are gonna. No, you make the Jets stop it. They never even made them stop it or try to stop it.
You played football and I played football. People keep forgetting the hardest thing to stop once it gets going is the run.
Yeah.
It tires you down. It beats you down.
Yeah. And the other thing it does is it keeps your offense on the sideline.
It does. It burns clock.
Which puts pressure on them because they're getting less opportunity.
And also, the defense isn't pushing forward. They're starting to get pushed. They're getting pushed back. Yeah. There's a difference. There's a reason why certain offensive lines look great and other ones don't. There are some blockers that are unbelievable run blockers. Yeah. They're great, and they can't pass block worth of shit because they got a backpedal.
For some reason, and this is still true, there is nothing more demoralizing, deflating, degrading to a defense than to have a team go on a 12 to 15 play drive and they run it every fucking time
play
up your ass, down your throat. Anyway, they bend you over. They don't even ask if you want lube. They just fucking they prison cell fuck you.
Who are my 2 favorite teams? And what did they do in the 90s?
They truck you.
What are my 2 favorite teams? One in college, one in the pros. What did they do in the 90s?
Nebraska and Dallas.
What did they do?
Running it.
They ran you the fuck.
They just cram it right up your car.
I used to love Nebraska. Tommy Frazier coming down the line, they run the triple option and kicking it out. And
it's like that scene from Animal House when they're doing the bond of obedience, assume the position, and the guy's got the big fucking paddle. Bam! Thank you, sir, ma'am. Bam! Thank you. That's what that's like. And for whatever reason, The Patriots forgot that. And it's been the reason they have their running game it went from third in the league, and now it's like, what the fuck did you do? And basically nothing changed.
You know what's funny?
And
I just want to make a small point, and I don't know if you'll agree with this, but this is at least my opinion. My favorite, and I actually believe all-time best Patriots team, was when they actually went on that 22-game winning streak in between seasons, when they added Corey Dillon.
The 04 Patriots, I would agree, are the best
because they could do it all. They were great on D.
Brady was second in the league in touchdown passes that year. He didn't have a number one.
But his running game was killer.
They could run the ball. Clock killing Corey Dillon.
Oh, dude, and he ran down everyone's
100
throat.
yards rushing.
That was an unstoppable Patriots.
They had a fullback. They had 3 tight ends.
And their fullbacks could catch.
And they had these little super quick Smurf guys.
Yep.
Deion Branch, Troy Brown. I love
Troy Brown was a godsend.
Troy Brown, David Patton, who was a burner. They had these 3 little midgets. You couldn't catch them.
Who was the guy? Deion Branch. One of the most underrated receivers in the history of
the other guy was David Gibbons, who was a big possession.
I know. Didn't he end up going to the Titans?
Notre Dame. Yeah, he won 2 Super Bowls with the Patriots. They were 03 and 04. They had him, Deion, and Troy Brown was in the slot. That was 3.
Why the fuck didn't they keep them?
I love that group because they didn't want to pay Deion. Remember, they didn't really 3 because they did Deion. Teddy Bruschi had a stroke. That was the first.
That didn't help.
And then Deion, they didn't pay Deion. He went to Seattle, and Brady was bullshit. He should have been because they lost the NFC title game that year to the Colts. And if they had,
was that the one where Big Eyes dropped the ball?
That was one where Troy Brown got called for the phantom fucking block in the back on the touchdown that would have made it 38-3, and they would have because on a pickoff because playing defense, and Samuel ran one back and I got called back for this alleged clip, and you see the replay, and Brown is running down the sideline right next to the guy, he never touches him. They run the whole play through for say he never puts a hand on him. They call him for a clip. It was embarrassing. And they lost that game 35-34. And the Colts beat Chicago in the Super Bowl. They would have 3-peated.
That Chicago team fucking sucked.
The Patriots beat the Chicago team during the year.
I know, I went to the game.
But the thing is, they had a running game, yes. You've got to have a running game. The Patriots, that's what this team was so good the first week because they were like, we're going to lie, we're going to kick your ass.
You know who's a Patriot? You'll remember. A lot of people don't remember, but he was our running game. Antoine Smith.
1,000-yard rusher with the Patriots. I remember the first Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Second Super Bowl, he was there for the first.
He was a Bill. He was originally a Buffalo Bill.
Yeah. Big, physical, smash mouth type of back.
He was perfect for the Patriots.
Yeah. Nope, he was good. I mean, they were when they lined up and we're just going to beat the shit out of you.
Yeah.
That's it. And this team, at least for 2 games, looked like they were going to get that mentality. Like, if they can run the ball like this or keep the Jets game, they come out, play act, the QB almost gets decapitated on the first.
Also, you got to remember too, if you're running the ball, you're helping your offensive line.
Yeah.
You're helping them, not hurting them. The more you drop back to pass, the more you expose the offensive line.
The offensive line, by nature, those guys want to run at you and knock you on your ass. They don't want to pass block.
No, you gotta get skill. You have to skill to pass block.
You talk to any offensive lineman. Yeah, they would say, would you prefer it? No, I'd rather line up and run it down their throat.
Think about it. If you're a 320-pound guy.
Because I get to hit this guy as hard as I want to. 13.
Look at it this way. Hey,
that's what they want to do.
I'm 320. You're 260. Would I rather go into you or try to backpedal my fat ass while you're coming to me full speed?
Yeah, see, here's what these guys don't get. The advantage they have is they're quicker, so why give them a head start?
Yeah, you'd rather get into them.
Run right at them and beat the shit.
Exactly.
Whenever the Cowboys get beat, do you know what happens? They run right at Micah Parsons. They run right fucking at Dogie's over the trail, and they double team them all, and they wear them down. Just wear the shit out of them. And every time the Cowboys get beat, that's exactly what happens. Every time. So
then you think a good coach would
you think a good coach would adjust, or they change the defensive scheme or get more big men or whatever, more linebacker, whatever. But the Cowboys still have not addressed that problem. It's still killing them. They killed them against New Orleans.
So what do you think?
New Orleans ran it right down their fucking throat. Oh my god.
Oh, I know. Dude,
terrible.
So what do you think the Patriots can do at this point?
Well, you have
I know they're going to try to run.
You got to run the ball.
Yeah,
first of all, you run the ball, you also keep your quarterback up.
Oh, no, I get that. But, like, what is there, if they have any this year anyway, what is, in your opinion, their hope to get the passing game going? What do they need to do? It's going to be play action, I assume.
It's going to be off of play action. And you've got to see if you have a running game.
What about dink and dunk like they did with Brady when he first started?
This is the thing about this Van Pelt dude. I don't understand. I think he knows offense, but I don't think he knows how to adjust it to the personnel that he has. Pop Douglas should be like Wes Welker, or he could be that kind of guy.
I mean,
they don't use him like that.
Why don't they just get the ball
bubble screens?
Get the ball out of his hand.
Send him in motion. Line him up in the backfield.
Yeah. I mean, just do trick shit. When I say trick, I don't mean trick plays. Move stuff around. Confuse the defense.
They've got Joe Thornton, who's a 4-2 burner on the outside. They have no idea how to get him the ball.
Dude, they can.
How can you have a guy with 4.2 speed and you can't?
Is it that difficult to send somebody in motion every time, just to mess with the defense?
I don't know what he's doing, but he needs to start adapting to his personality.
That's why they said it all week on the radio up north. Vanilla is part of their offense.
Yeah.
It's too vanilla.
It's vanilla.
And I understand why it's vanilla because they don't have talent.
But
you can't be vanilla and
you
not have talent. You got to do something.
But Pete, this is where coaching comes into play.
I know.
You have to, whatever talent you have to figure out what it does well. You have to run the offense that way to play to their strengths. They don't do that.
Well, the problem is
at all.
They hired a head coach who I like, but he's a defensive guy. And they're good on defense, which is great, but what they suck at is offense. And they didn't hire a genius for an offensive coordinator.
No.
Or a guy to draft offensive players either.
And again, in an offensive league,
it is an offensive league
where there are more there are more quarterbacks out there right now, believe it, than number one receivers.
Yeah.
You had a generational talent sitting right there, and you didn't take him. You took him for a guy you're not going to play for at least a year, probably. And I don't
that's
know
what
why,
everyone told them they needed.
And I don't know why you would do that when you look at this quarterback class coming out. There's 3 or 4 guys that can be better than him right out of the gate.
And also, if you were getting rid of Bill Belichick, because you were,
you should have.
Why didn't you just keep Mac Jones?
Look at Mac. I said
he's playing pretty well right now.
Look at Sam Darnold. Look at Geno Smith. Look at Mac Jones' rookie year. He made the Pro Bowl.
You said it yourself. If they're going to pick a quarterback anyway, they're going to need one. You didn't need to take him this time.
Nope.
You could have taken the talent.
You had Mac Jones.
You could have kept Mac Jones for another year.
What if Mac Jones got to throw to Marvin Harrison Jr.?
My point exactly. Look how good he did in Alabama when he had all that talent.
I'm saying, you give any quarterback talent, these guys can play.
Sam Darnold looks like Fran Tarkenton right now, throwing to Justin Jefferson.
You give them no talent, and they look like they can't play.
Yeah,
Tom Brady is one of one. He's the only quarterback I've ever seen do this. That's why he's the GOAT. So it's like, what are you talking about? If he's not, and they're still managing this team like he's still in the building. He's not. None of these quarterbacks are him.
They're not filming the practices anymore.
No.
It shows. When you don't know what the team's going to run,
the other guy,
you can't prepare for
it. The guy who did that left.
I know. Well, that hurts.
The head cheetah.
It sucks.
But then when they stopped filming, they still won 3 Super Bowls.
So they said they stopped filming, but then the Cincinnati incident happened. Yeah.
We forgot about that.
Guess we forgot that one.
What about when the Giants did it to the Steelers?
No one cares about the Giants. They suck.
Thank you. Other teams do it. Baltimore's admitted to do it. Miami did it to the Patriots in 06.
We're not talking about those guys.
Don't
hear about those guys.
Yeah, but that's what...
Didn't even hear about those
exactly,
because that could have just been... You just did a Donald Trump.
No,
you just threw a stat out there that probably doesn't exist.
It doesn't help them win.
It doesn't exist.
They did. They stole signals, and they still lost. You know why? Because they didn't have the players.
He's fake news. He has no. What you just said.
You can have
there are no numbers behind it to back it.
Nick Nolte said this in Blue Chips. I'll walk right over and I'll tell Bobby exactly what we're going to do because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's how you do it. I can go over and if you're so good. By the way, Larry Bird and Michael Jordan were famous for this. They tell them exactly what they're going to do before they do it, and they'd still fucking do it, and they couldn't stop it anyway. Because you know why? They were just that fucking good.
Really? Is that why?
At the end of the day, the Patriots were just that fucking good.
Is this why Belichick won't even let his players talk at the microphone? If he didn't believe in that strategy, he doesn't even let his players talk. He never did.
Belichick's about Belichick.
Do you remember he benched Wes Welker for the foot thing? The joke?
By the way, that was a funny joke.
It was awesome. I felt bad for you. I bought you birthday tickets that year. Went to the Jets game. He benched him for the first series, and they fucking lost. And fucking Sanchez.
The Pete Migliaccio jinx is the other. He predicted the Jets. The Pats were going to win.
No, didn't.
They're going to rout him because they routed him 45-3. Right? You forget, remember Thursday night? That was the butt fumble game. That was the year of the butt fumble. On 45-3 on that Thursday night, the butt fumble game. The Pats bent these guys over like it was nobody's business. 45-3. It was like, there's no way they're coming in there.
And then genius Belichick, his freaking best receiver, decides to bench him for the first series against the Jets in the playoffs.
Just another example of what an overrated coach he was.
How do you bench Wes Welker, for Christ's sake?
Because he made fun of a guy you actually can't stand.
I know, and the best part is he did it perfectly.
What a good joke.
He didn't even laugh.
For a guy who's not a comedian.
He's like, look, we got to...
the presence?
We got to take it one step at a time.
Yeah, you're dead.
We got to keep putting our best foot forward. He was genius.
It's a game of feet, 1 foot at a time. 1 foot in front of the other. You gotta walk before you can crawl. Like he was perfect. This went on for like a minute, and finally the press was like, "He is fucking kidding." They all started laughing. They're like, "Is he serious?" And then they realized he's kidding.
Yeah, of course. And he's like, "Yes, you just gotta keep, soldier.
The press about halfway through just starts dying.
You hear him start snickering.
He starts cackling. Ah!
He's like, we're going to be good foot soldiers.
I wish
It really was good.
The whole thing. And at his point, he never flinched.
No.
He never smirked. He never.
He was dead. He's like, we got to be good foot soldiers. We got to soldier on.
He was dead serious.
You got to put one foot.
And then he looked, he nodded at the guy like, yeah, really. It's all about that right now. One pinky toe at a time.
Got to put our best foot forward.
Seriously.
Got to be good little foot soldiers.
Right foot in front of the left.
Right
not left, right, left. Yeah. Totally. And he's just staring at the guy. And he doesn't even smirk. Nothing. I was like, wow, that was really good. And of course,
One foot in
Belichick,
front of the other.
Belichoke, as I like to call him, goes, oh no!
No, he didn't. No, the best part, Belichick didn't even say anything. He just benched him to it for a series. And what happens? The Jets go up 7-0. The rest is
Patriots
history.
go 3 and out.
Yep. 3 and out.
Jets go right down the fucking field. Great. Oh. So anyway, yeah. The point is the Patriots suck, and if they don't win Sunday, here's the thing: if they don't win Sunday, 1-4, back up the truck. It's already over. There's 12 games to go, and it's already over if they lose Sunday. It's over.
Well,
you know how many 1-4 teams make the playoffs?
First of all, it's over anyway.
I know.
I mean, it's hard to say this, but you need to be thinking draft picks.
No, but I don't want to watch them go 1-16.
Nobody wants to watch them go 1-16. No. I didn't say to try to lose on purpose.
Honestly, Pete, let's be honest. I have no faith, given what they did in the last draft, that they wouldn't fuck it up anyway. They already fucked this up once.
You gotta.
They fucked this up. It was the easiest. It's like, wait, no, I don't care if that's the easy answer. It's not the right one. Even though the whole world's going, that's actually the right answer.
That's what I was trying to tell you. That's what I don't understand about these teams. They don't draft. They don't make intelligent drafts.
Marvin Harrison will be a first ballot Hall of Famer if he stays healthy.
Yeah, well,
guarantee it. Okay, and he is just one. You watch him play football, like that dude's he's like Ken Griffey swinging a bat. He's just he's a natural.
Yeah,
he's born to play football. Just like his dad is a Hall of Fame receiver. He's just a bigger, faster version of his dad.
I know. I've seen him play.
And his dad caught for 14,000 yards and 71 touchdowns.
So since we can't Monday morning quarterback what they've already done. What would you say? Obviously, besides I think we already mentioned it, left tackle.
Here's the problem. Right now, the centers go. They lost Andrews for the year. They can't even run the ball right now. They're fucked. They're totally fucked. They are fucked. Like this is the size of the asshole from the size of the douchebag, the bad man, the fucking
bad evil man.
What do you call it? The dildo, the size of the fucking. There'll be one of those rubber dildos you see on TV, those big funny ones that fall.
The ultimate colonoscopy.
Yeah, the ultimate colonoscopy, and no lube. And no lube. That's the Pats are on the brink of this if they lose Sunday. But anyway, we will make our picks and we'll be back tomorrow night. About college football tomorrow, do not forget, noontime, tune in. 2 big ones. Number 9, Missouri, BC, playing against number 25, A&M. The root for that. And BC is also playing at noon, right about an hour away, rather, in Charlottesville, against Virginia. 4-1 against 3-1. And Constanellis is back. BC needs to win this game tomorrow.
Yeah.
BC needs to win this game tomorrow. They win this game tomorrow, they're 5-1. And they got Virginia Tech next week.
Nice.
So this is a big, big day tomorrow for them. We'll be watching. We'll be back tomorrow night. We'll have one of these games on, and we'll be doing the NFL pick segment. Plus, the Giggle Smoke RU Stone selection, 2-0, by the way. Carolina a couple weeks ago, and the Mets. By the way, shout out to the Mets. Tommy, the Mets, big win. They've hit the Phillies. Tommy and Joel.
Petey ball game.
Tommy and Joel. The sequel.
Petey Alonso hitting that home run.
If you saw the NBA playoffs when the Sixers and the Mets, the next one at it, this could be a classic.
I bet.
There's going to be an over-under. Tomorrow, we're going to figure out how many games before one of these two is at the other's throat.
Petey Alonso.
Big Petey. Anyway, congratulations. Thank you again to Big Pipey, Joe Boo, Yoda, and the Hizzy, Electric Sex. We'll see you guys tomorrow night. Actually, in about 24 hours. So until then, boys and girls, you know the drill.
With 2 fingers.
2 fingers.